I've noticed some very unsavory tactics being deployed in the Western world within the last couple of years. Tactics that were considered unsavory in the past. For example, the idea that if you disagree with what someone has to say, it's okay to try and get that person fired, to ruin them, to make sure that they can't put food on the table. It's something so diabolical that I never thought about it before I seen it being done in America. I mean, imagine reading a book about a medieval story and a guy acts unsavory in the tavern. So people are going to the blacksmith to try and get his apprenticeship canceled. Like that didn't even pass my head that, oh, that is a possibility. So yeah, getting people fired for things they say in their free time is definitely something that's catching on. Another interesting thing is trying to make sure that people can't speak. So if they have something to say that a lot of other people want to listen, then you need to make sure that they don't have a platform where they can speak. So they're pushed out of venues, they're pushed out of civilized society, not allowed on the mainstream platforms, canceling, I guess is what it's called. So that is another tactic that if you disagree with someone, you don't even need to have a rebuttal. You don't even need to engage with the ideas. You can just make sure that they're not allowed to speak with other people. And that's how you win the argument. If no one challenges your argument, then you won. But lately I have seen a tactic that is so despicable and so worrisome that it begs the question, what type of monster came up with it? And what type of monster is willing to employ this tactic against another human being? And that is the tactic of going after someone's lawyers, going after someone's legal defense team, which can be done through various means, whether making sure the person can't raise money so that he can pay for the lawyer. It can be done by trying to intimidate and dox the lawyer that a person has. Or it can even be done, I have seen it in more extreme cases, by finding out the law firm that is handling a case and trying to spook their clients. Telling other clients, hey, do you know who else this lawyer is representing? Are you interested in being associated with that? I have seen all three of them. And honestly, it's just jaw-dropping because I think every single human being, regardless of the crime they committed, should be able to have a defense in court. It is not only a fundamental human right, but the legal system, in order for it to exist, needs so that people can believe there is a legal system. And you cannot believe there is a legal system if you see people being unable to defend themselves in court. How can it be justice? How can you even be able to say that, yes, this person has done something which he is guilty of if they do not have their day in court? So what happened to Kyle Rittenhouse is something that a lot of people know, but it's not about Kyle, it's about the actual tactic of going after someone's legal defense team. And in the case of Kyle, apparently the lawyer also got death threats and people tried to dox him and, they tried to intimidate his lawyer. But not only that, they went after his GoFundMe page. And now GoFundMe is placed in the very difficult position to explain why they had to shut down Kyle's defense fund. So they're claiming that the reason is because they do not allow money to be gathered for the defense of an alleged violent crime. And they want to clarify that now he can gather money if he wants to. So after the trial is done, now he can gather money for the lawsuit. An entire bullshit concept. Like, I think even child molesters, even the worst of the worst, deserve to have a lawyer. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind. Without it, how do you know the person committed the crime? How do you know the person is legitimately guilty? What if they got the wrong guy? You wouldn't know unless the person is able to have a defense. Even in the worst legal systems in the world, where you look at Nazi Germany, when you look at the Soviet Union, when you look at dictatorships, even there people are allowed to have a lawyer to defend them. Even in medieval time, people were allowed to have a representative. So no one in their right mind, from what I know, would go after, oh my God, this is a lawyer representing a bad person. It's like, it's the job of a lawyer. That's what they do. They represent people that are potentially guilty. Right? So this is GoFundMe trying to cover their ass for what they did, and they're being called out by many people. But the most interesting person that's calling them out seems to be a police officer who says, you allowed the guy that shot me to raise money on your platform for his legal defense. When my friends posted a GoFundMe to help me recover, you shot it down and prohibited for no reason. We didn't violate any terms of agreement. You are anti-police. So this cop got his GoFundMe shut down, not because he was raising money for legal defense, but because he was raising money for medical treatment. I mean, you know, the left keeps talking about dehumanizing people and dehumanizing language. This is dehumanizing. What GoFundMe is doing is dehumanizing people based on ideological reasons. They believe that people like John Mattingly isn't a human because he doesn't deserve basic human rights. The left is all about healthcare as a human right. They believe he doesn't deserve it. They believe people do not deserve the right to go and have a fair and just trial. And I personally think that this is because they have hired people within their company which have access to who gets funding and who doesn't, who are ideologically possessed. These people do not see humans in the same way. They do not view humans as equal. They view certain humans that are good people, and they dehumanize everyone that they disagree with. And now it seems that it might be at the detriment of the company, because I assume a higher up came up and had to post this garbage, lying to people about the fact that, oh, well, we don't allow people to gather money if it was for a violent offense. Which is not true. There's several people that are pointing out, no, like, we know cases where the guy committed the violent offense and he managed to get the GoFundMe going. Which, by the way, I think they should. I think every single person should be able to gather money to buy a lawyer. It's a fundamental human right. There is nothing wrong. There is absolutely no moral culpability on anyone who donates money to any person for having a defense team or for a company that facilitates the transfer. Zero problem whatsoever with it. You can have a clean moral conscience. In fact, I would say that a person who manages to have a good defense and is found guilty anyway is proof that the system works. Because regardless of the lawyer you have, regardless of the money you're throwing at the defense, if the system works, you're going to be found guilty. The lawyer isn't a genie. He's not doing the hocus pocus. No, he defends the client, but there are certain people who did something, and no matter the defense, they're going to be found guilty. The same way you have people who are being accused, and regardless of how wealthy the accusation is or how vast the accusation is, they're going to be found innocent because there's no evidence. They didn't do it. Now, this is how the system is supposed to work in theory. Of course, in reality, there might be mistakes here and there. Probably sometimes more than they should. But if we all don't believe this, then what's the point in following laws? What is the point in obeying the laws if people don't believe in this? So yeah, this is just the most disgusting thing that I have ever seen since I came on the internet. The act of trying to make sure that a person cannot defend themselves in court. I do not think that is something more disgusting. I do not think that is something more evil. I just have no words for it. Alright, like, when it comes to cancel culture, and I see a person that tries to cancel others and they themselves they get canceled, I find it funny. You know, I laugh. It's funny. It's like, hey, why are you playing with fire? You got burned. If I see a person that's trying to get other people fired and then they get fired, it's like, okay, it's hilarious. I don't think there is any circumstance where I would want even a person that tried to get someone without a lawyer. I don't think that if they are the ones getting sued, they should have people going after their lawyer. Like, there is no circumstance where I think that this is appropriate. Because otherwise, you can't trust the system. Otherwise, There's no point for the system. Just get it over with. Just don't even go to trial. What's the point? So this apology from GoFundMe isn't good enough. They actually have to fire the person that made the decision. They have to lay off the person. If not, I hope that they get sued. America used to be a lawsuit happy land, right? And if GoFundMe gets sued, I hope that they're going to be allowed to have a defense team. I hope that they're still going to be able to gather the money to pay for lawyers, because every single person, period, deserves to have legal representation in court. And by the way, just so we're clear, I know private company can do whatever it wants, but this is a matter of principle. So if they allow for some people to be able to get money for a defense, for a legal defense, then they should allow for everyone, out of principle. It's literally the same like if the corporation would be sexist or homophobic or racist. You would treat it with disgust. The same way I think is disgusting to say this person isn't allowed to have a legal defense because I don't like the ideology or what. No, I don't care. Alright? Like, morally speaking, you have to do it. And I do think that they might have violated a couple of laws by not allowing it, because otherwise they wouldn't post this apology. I might be wrong, who knows? Well, I guess we'll see. I'm not really that well versed into U.S. legal economical disputes, but it's possible that they know they messed up. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen in the next couple of months. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.